Hello, welcome back to another video of Nioh. Anyway, in this video we're gonna go over spear skill tree, beginners to be exact, so that you know exactly what you want to put in there, because there's so many choices. And since in my last video I went over using the spear first as your beginner's weapon just for the range, I want to go over some of the skills that you might want to look into first, just to help you get through that beginning stretch, and then get yourself back into the groove of things, to say anything. So one of the first skills that you'll notice in a lot of the skill trees is the guard attack. When you hit L1 or whatever your console is, your guard move plus the heavy attack. When you use it when you're guarding, you'll use your skill, and this is really good on the spear as well, because every time you use these, or any class really, it takes down a certain amount of stamina. So, like I said, a lot of this game is based around stamina, and if you can knock your opponent's stamina down, you can win the fight. So, the shove opponent's spear shaft, stunning them, is a very good one to start off with, just because you can keep your guard up and you can still attack them back, and it does a lot of damage, especially to bosses, I've noticed. Another one that you want to look into a lot is the combos. Okay, so the second part of this build that you want to aim for is the hard attack at the end of your square attack or light attack combo. This one also does a very good amount of stamina to the enemy, and once you can follow up with like a 4-hitter, even if you don't have very much in, it does enough damage, and if you knock them down, it's almost a finishing move on the lower guys. So you start off with those. If you're aiming for any other builds, this is kind of what you want to aim for as well, just because stamina is key in all this game. So to wrap that all up, the guard attack and the hard attack at the end of your combo, that'll help you out a lot. Another thing that the polearm does get is the sweeping move, which is very good for the mid stance. I'm not entirely sure if this gets unlocked at a certain quest, but when you get it, this is an instant knockdown, which lets you follow up with the downward thrust for your weapon, doing that extra bonus damage, giving you an advantage in the fight in general, especially against bosses that are people and are susceptible to that. You'll run across those a little later. But a lot of people don't, what I didn't notice in the beginning was how long the actual skill tree is for a lot of these weapons. So you'll start to notice that if you start looking through them, they kind of focus more on the stance styles. So if you're thinking about going low stance or high stance, you can see that low stance leaps over an enemy, get behind them. So if you focused on that, you could easily build up a certain stance to make it so that you can do more. In the beginning, obviously the mid stance I still suggest, just because it gives you the guard bonus, you guard more damage, and it gives you the range with your heavy attack, and even your basic attack, follow-up attacks, stamina, all that good stuff. High stances, because of the fact that high stances focus so much on damage and being so slow, a lot of their attacks that I've noticed have actually been that they do quicker damage, but they use up a lot of stamina, just to let you know that right off the bat. This is not a very good one to recommend. I don't recommend high stance really at all throughout the first 2, maybe even 3 bosses, until you get certain skill types for them. Obviously, you're going to waste a lot of stamina, so you have to be on point with your recovery action at the end of your combos when you do heavy attacks. Something else I noticed in this game is the ninja skill tree isn't all just for ninja stars, poison, paralysis, or anything like that. If you head down the skill tree even more, it'll take you about probably the first mission before you actually unlock the ninja tab. Not sure if it unlocks very much before that, but you'll notice that you get certain skills that in Dark Souls 3 or 2 or 1 you had a backstab when you went up behind enemies, and I couldn't figure out how to do that in this one. But under the ninja skill type tree, there is a skill type that allows you to do that. So you have to unlock the skill before you can actually even do this. If you're aiming for another weapon, if you don't take the advice, you can go off your other thing. It's really what you're comfortable in playing with this game. Every skill has around the same basic structure of attacks. They kind of vary a little bit, you know, different swinging stances, different ranges, everything like that. I still suggest a spear, but every single one has the key pulse or some variation of it with the guard and then hitting triangle. Like the sword has a really good one for AoE, and just in general, a lot of them have the heavy attack that follows up. So whatever weapon that you plan on focusing on, I do suggest at the very least have that heavy attack that follows up with the basic attacks, just for the stamina increase. And really, it just depends on your playstyle. If you're planning on doing something else, if you want to focus on magic, it does have a large portion of that as well. There are some longer ranged ones in case you got lost and you didn't realize that they're there. There are certain fireball ones. I don't have very much luck in them, but maybe you will. I'm not a big magic person, especially in games like this. But take that recommendation as you will, and I will continue to do these videos for as long as you guys seem interested. So, hope you all have a good day. Bye.